Hey Nick, how you doing today?
Fantastic. How are you doing, Ryan?
Good. It's been a big
It's
week
Friday.
this week. It's Friday, but it's been a huge week at Inbound this week.
Massive. It's been a massive, busy one. I think we're probably both looking forward to the weekend.
Absolutely. A bit weird this year not to be in Boston for all the excitement.
Definitely, especially being from the States, I always made sure that I snuck a little trip home to see family on the way through. And so COVID definitely put I guess, a bit of a curveball in my annual trip home to visit family. But it definitely was. It's kind of nice. I'm still actually going through some of the content. Have you gone through all of it, or are you still making your way through it?
I've gone through a lot of it, but there's so many sessions. It's actually better in a way that it's video on demand this year so that I can cycle back and watch them over the whole year.
Yeah, that's right. So it's a full year worth of content. So I'll be slowly making my way through some of the sessions. But obviously, I believe today we're here to talk about some product updates. There was some pretty exciting product news stuff that dropped this week.
Yeah, obviously, you sell HubSpot, so you get a bit excited about this stuff. I'm a bit of a nerd, so I get excited about this stuff. So I thought we'd just go through a few of the big new features that you announced this week and talk about why we're excited about them. How does that sound?
That sounds good. Let's do it.
All right. So the first one, I think, like the biggest one for a lot of people is custom objects. And half the people watching this video are like, okay, what's a custom object? But all of a sudden, we're talking about being able to create new object types in HubSpot for whatever solution a client needs. Properties for real estate agents, tickets and transactions for tourism operators. This is a big change for HubSpot.
It's massive. This is something that I would say has probably been one of the most highly requested asks from our customers for a really long time. And it's something that we've been working on, I think, just as long because it does have such an impact on every other part of our platform. Um, but I think the interesting thing about the launch of custom objects is it's just going to be such an easier way to organize information that doesn't fit neatly in the kind of standard kind of contacts or company records or even deal records or ticket records. So giving businesses that don't really fit neatly into those kind of four areas, they can now kind of use all of the simple kind of HubSpot CRM tools, but also make sure all their information is stored in a really kind of, I guess, neat way.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that dovetails nicely into the expanded sales tools as well. And it's kind of weird that you've brought in some interesting new sales tools that piggyback off of the custom objects. But then you've got a pretty awesome new quote builder, some new AI smarts, and my favorite function, I reckon, is deep integration with Zero, so I can create invoices from Zero in HubSpot.
Yeah, that's a big one. The zero integration is definitely something that we will be talking a lot about. I know I will be talking a lot about with customers, but yeah, I think with the launch of custom objects, you now have to think about all this new information that's in HubSpot needs to be reported against. And how do we report this information against maybe our revenue information or against the contact information? And so it was only natural for them to have to like rebuild the whole kind of custom report builder. So you now have a lot more options in terms of your reporting and kind of what information is most important to your business. So that's really exciting. You mentioned the quote building or what we call like CPQ. Um, I don't. I would say, and you can tell me if I mean I'm pretty spoiled here at HubSpot. Like the ability to like create a deal and then just create a quote and send it to a customer for us is like a pretty quick process. But I know that's not that easy for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of our quotes for some specific projects might take a day. I've had clients tell me that the current quote process takes them a week. So the easier we can make that, the better we can serve the people that are interested in working with us and get those things moving.
Yeah, exactly. I've talked to customers who say they spend half their day like in a Word document creating quotes from product tables from different spreadsheets, and the reps are sitting in Word all day trying to figure out how to build a quote and drag images in, and it's just a mess. And so I think the ability not only to use our quoting and product tools, but the ability to create and customize the templates that match kind of what the business wants to do. So they're standardized. So your reps can just be hitting the phones, having conversations, building quotes on the fly, and then moving on to the next conversation is a huge, something I'm super excited about. And I'm sure you guys will be getting your hands in there very soon as well at Refuel.
Absolutely. Probably the last big thing on this kind of area, I guess, is marketing contacts.
Mhm.
And the marketing contacts has been an interesting case over the last couple of years because HubSpot is one of the few companies I know that have released a free CRM, but that it's a very powerful CRM. It's a very connected CRM on a platform. There's very generous limits on the free CRM, but then you'd sign somebody up to a plan that includes 1,000 contacts, and they've loved your free CRM so much they've got 50,000 contacts in there, and it kind of doesn't work.
It doesn't.
So
It,
this is one of those interesting ones where it's like almost you're growing up into more of a whole featured CRM rather than just a marketing tool.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I think you nailed it on the head. I mean, if you think about like the evolution of our product, we started as a marketing company, right? As a marketing software company. And so the way that we build was very similar to how pretty much every other marketing software company builds, which is you have a database size, you're sending emails to that database, like you pay on a contact. But as we've grown and as the CRM has become pretty much the integral kind of hub or like the nucleus of our platform, we've got to this really funny place where we have heaps and heaps of CRM first customers who have thousands and thousands or even hundreds of thousands of contacts, and they want to use our marketing tools, but because they don't actually market to that database in its entirety, it didn't make sense from an investment perspective to move into our marketing tools. So we finally have freed that up, and we've introduced marketing contacts, which essentially just means you only pay for the contacts that you're actively marketing to. Which means you could have millions of contacts in the CRM that you don't pay for, but maybe there's a small sliver of that you're going to be actively marketing to and which you pay for. So it's something that no one else is really doing as it relates to some of our competitors. So and it's, I think for us, we'll probably, I mean, dare I say it, HubSpot might lose some money on this one for a lot of our customers, right? They might be downgrading because all of a sudden they don't need to pay for all the contacts that they currently are. But I think it's the right move to support our customers. So yeah, it should be interesting to see how it plays out.
A good marketer will always build a use case to contact the rest of their database.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But it's really interesting to see the product evolve and the industry evolves as well from our side, where we used to just be the people that you'd run an ad campaign through, or many small businesses thought about marketing as doing the email newsletter. And now we're talking about CRMs, and we're talking about platforms, and we're talking about business improvement opportunities, bringing your accounting software together with your sales software in a much better way. It's a different world.
It is. It is. It's no longer just kind of broadcast email, is it? We now, when you have a CRM that's connected to your marketing engine, it's a lot easier to send a much more tailored messages to everyone in your database. And I think that's what people expect. And so if you're not doing it, your email is probably getting skipped over, your messaging is getting looked over. And so I think, we think that our tools are pretty simple to use, but they still give you that power to provide a pretty tailored messaging experience, which is pretty cool.
So talking about tailored messaging, account-based marketing,
Account-based marketing.
HubSpot have rolled out some great new tools in terms of account-based marketing. For
Yeah, and
those of us who
account-based
don't know what
marketing.
it is,
What's that?
for those of us who aren't full bottle on what it is,
Is that for me? Do you want me to handle that one?
no, I thought so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, when we think about, I guess, how you sell to larger organizations, there's often tons and tons of different individuals that you're selling to in order to get to the right people. These organizations have a lot of different employees with different roles and seniority and that kind of thing. And so it's important for the sales rep to be aligned with the marketing team so that they're working together to influence all the people that are going to help get you the deal, right? And so there's some really, I mean, even looking back a year ago or 2 years ago, in order to deliver an account-based marketing strategy, you had to have like 20 different tools that did all kinds of different little things to actually pull it all together. And it was very complex. We've put together a suite of tools that I'm super excited about. And you can go as sophisticated as you want with them. But I think the coolest thing about some of the account-based marketing tools that we've released is even just simply for a sales rep to go through a database and say, these are my 10 target accounts that I need to sell to this year. These are the 3 individuals at each company that are maybe the influencer or the decision maker or the champion. For marketing to be able to run some quick lists and say, here are the accounts that mean the most to our sales organization, and be able to create some really simple target account campaigns. Just by those 2 teams communicating in the same system, I think it's going to open up tons of opportunities. And so obviously it gets way more sophisticated if you want to go that far down, but I think even just some of those simple things, I think it'll be really exciting to see some organizations take on that tool set.
Yeah, I think it's a really good opportunity in Australia while not very many people are doing it. And tools that'll let us do it at scale are exactly what we need to succeed there. Speaking of things to help us succeed, Nick, love a good segue. The new CMS has come out, and HubSpot, we're talking a lot about that this week.
Yep.
And it's a classic scenario here where, as a marketer, you'd always hear that people can't modify their website. People can't. I need my developer to do that, and as a result, their websites get stagnant and they can't make simple copy edits. HubSpot have sort of steered away from that a little bit.
They have, yeah. We've fully revamped kind of the design experience, which is pretty cool. It's a much more user-friendly kind of drag and drop editor. You can pull modules into different areas of your templated web page, which I guess the beauty in that is if you're a day-to-day marketer and you're trying to get out a message, you're trying to run a campaign, if you have to wait on a developer to update a page for you, even if they're in-house, that's going to take time. If they're outsourced, by the time everything gets turned around, your campaign might be too late. Like, you want to be able to get these kind of things out right away. So I think empowering marketers is a big piece of this, like being able to just work within the systems, create content really quickly and get that information out. But then the other thing is hopefully freeing up that development. Like, your developers don't want to edit forms. They don't want to, change the color of your navigation. They want to do things that actually probably impact the business. And so freeing up their time to do things that could have a larger impact on the business overall, I think, is another really kind of, I guess, other aspect of this. So yeah, even with as with ABM, I mean, you can go as sophisticated as you want. So the tools do scale up to the more sophisticated, and with the enterprise CMS launch, it comes with a lot of kind of security and control over, I guess, the governance of the system, which I think is very unique to HubSpot as well. So it does scale up to that kind of mid-market and enterprise CMS level. But at the end of the day, just simplifying things for marketers.
The thing I really like about the CMS is that the core code is kept maintained by HubSpot, so we don't have to worry about plugin updates and things like that. It's easy for anyone on our team to roll out personalized content. so that when somebody visits the site, they see different content based on whether they're a customer or a prospect, or they're totally new to us. And those are things that have been possible through other platforms for quite some time. But again, you need the developers to develop them. And so there's time and energy to go into that. Whereas now we're talking about, hey, we want to make a change to the site. Okay, well, that's a 5 minute job, not a 5 week job. So very, very fast, stable, and reliable.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that often gets forgotten, when you're installing a lot of plugins on your CMS. Not only do you have to be, I guess, sure about the quality of that code and if it's a security risk, but also the more plugins you have, the more updates you have to do, and the slower your website might be in terms of how it renders. So I think we can kind of take a lot of that headache out of the picture as well, which is a really nice benefit on the CMS front. So yeah, did we miss anything? There was a lot, but those are some of the ones that stood out to me.
Well, there was that little announcement just before inbound, speaking about your drag and drop CMS. You're giving away landing pages for free.
Ah,
So you're giving away contacts for free, you're giving away landing pages for free. Do you just not need a sales team anymore?
well, I am a little bit worried about my job, I will say, but no, we're still doing okay. We are making it so much easier to get started with HubSpot, which is cool. Just giving the tools to any size business. And so landing pages have been bumped down to free. So the ability to use that drag and drop editor to create what HubSpot defines as a landing page is a conversion page, right? So a page that has a form on it that is asking for information from somebody in exchange for something usually. And so yeah, you can sign up for the free CRM. You've got a way to manage your sales, your pipeline, your forecasting. You have a free marketing tool, so you can send out newsletters and communicate to your database. You can track which contacts have been to your website. You can now convert leads for free with the free landing page tool. So, it's pretty crazy.
I don't know anyone who gives away quite as full featured a CRM and marketing and sales and service tools as you guys do. Particularly when you consider that you can integrate nearly whatever you like with it. So all of a sudden, even if you're running a one-person business, you've got all of the tools that you need in place to grow and scale that business.
And that might be the one thing that we didn't spend enough time talking about this year at Inbound, but it was mentioned a little bit. But I think as compared to where we were last year, the size of our marketplace, the size of our ecosystem, when I say ecosystem, I mean the other tools that connect to HubSpot, has grown like tenfold. So we've put such an emphasis on, we've always been kind of the all-in-one hub, right? We want to be able to do as much as you can with HubSpot. And I think we continue to grow in that way, but we also know that we're not everything to everyone. There's a lot of really great tools out there. So the easier we can make it to play with our tools, the better. And I think we've shown that with our ecosystem. And I know you specifically at Refuel are playing around with all those tools and connecting them all the time.
Oh, we love a good integration. And not that we need a lot of integrations to solve HubSpot things, but when you've got all of that rich CRM data that you can use to personalize and contextualize your marketing data, then you want more of it. So if we can run a video system that can then contextualize conversations based on video views, if we can optimize the send time of an email to get it in front of the right person at the right time, if we can use artificial intelligence to clean up somebody's CRM data, like it's an amazing time saver and allows businesses to do a lot more with a lot less.
And focus on the thing they should be focusing on, which is growing their business.
Anything else you want to cover off today, Nick?
Mate, it's Friday at 2:30. I feel like we've covered it. I feel like we've earned ourselves a trip to the pub as well, if that was a thing you could do in this era.
Yes. Depends on where you're watching from, I guess. Well, thanks a lot for your time today, Nick. I'll let you go and head off to the pub. But appreciate your insight and look forward to seeing what comes out of next Inbound.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Ryan. Appreciate it, mate.